I'm Megha Bhargav. I've done my schooling from Mayo College, Ajmer. After that, I went to Delhi University and did my graduation in geography honors. After that, I did MA in political science. That was the time when I was preparing for civil services, and my parents wanted me to be a professor. And I wanted to work in a corporate industry. So I did, from Birla Institute, I did a course in management in retail, merchandising and buying. I got placed with Madura Garments, Bangalore. I worked there for around three and a half years. And I got married, unfortunately, because I wanted to pursue my job. I was loving it and I was enjoying it, but I had to come back to Gurgaon, Delhi. So after a break of like 3 months, I revived, I bounced back, and I worked with SSIPL, which is a franchisee, master franchisee for Levi's and Nike. I worked there for 7 years, and I was heading the, I joined as a manager. I got promoted to deputy general manager. I was heading the buying and planning team for Levi's and Nike equipments. Nike equipments, fitness products. Yeah. And that was the time, like about after 4 years of work experience, I realized that I wanted to go back into teaching. I had that love for it. And I went to my alma mater, that is Birla Institute in Greater Noida. I'm really sorry, this fly is really troubling me. So I gave quite a few guest lectures there with the students. I interacted with them and I loved it. I liked the entire learning and unlearning process, being on the other side of the chairs. So it was good. Recently I joined, not joined, but I'm also giving a trimester taking as a paper on franchisee retailing in global retail in gyms, which is in Rohini. And giving guest lectures in BIMTech is going on. Last week I gave a lecture at Bikaner University, which is a global university, again on merchandising. And today here I am.
So would you like to join us as full-time or a part-time?
To be very honest, I have not yet got a very, very good full-time opportunity. Okay. So I would not deny. I would obviously see that, you know, if I'm getting it, it's like a little up to the mark where I can give 100%. So, and I would not mind a part-time. I would not mind a guest lecture. Right now, I'm open for everything.
Okay, see, I'll tell you, we have a lot of courses which by the end of the course, if you talk about the senior classes, which is the 3rd year of the course, you have a lot of marketing, merchandising and all that, and I think you're quite equipped with the subject. So basically our need comes during that time, majorly for a person who has an expertise in retail marketing management and all that. But initial years of design studies also has little of these subjects.
Correct.
So I am not sure whether, like, we have something called as presentation skills. So would you be able to take that subject?
I'm totally fine. I'm totally open to it. That's what I said. Yeah, please.
Yeah. Because that is in the 1st year. So we, when we look for a person who is wanting to come for a full-time thing, then we are looking for full-time occupancy. Not only when the kids are in the 6th semester, then only I'll be able to occupy. The rest time you're free. So I have to understand whether you will be able to take those subjects or not. Like one I mentioned, this presentation skills. The other could be marketing management, and then estimation and costing can be
fashion
another.
And society, maybe.
Fashion
products, maybe product, because I think that's something missing. Why I said product, because in retail institutes or retail course where you specialize, you study retail and you study fabric. But in a fashion design school, you don't study retail and product. So maybe it's like something which will really.
Yeah, maybe we can also take your input on considering few subjects, adding or subtracting, or maybe improvising few subjects. So that would happen later. Right. But I'm telling the situation that we normally it is in the last year of the college that the students study a lot of management subjects.
5th semester, 6th semester.
5th and 6th. And whereas in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, it is just a little of it. So it is not going to be that you're going to be restricted to only fashion, but we have the other disciplines like interior, like jewelry, like textile, communication. So we would try and give you little subjects where you can explore. Maybe you will have, like we have a subject called fashion in society.
Okay.
So fashion and how society was impacted, or vice versa.
Global luxury brand.
Yeah, global luxury brand management is another subject. So it has little management, but with global luxury.
Perfect.
So these are a few subjects that I would do.
Sure, I'm totally open. If you think that I'm suitable for it, I'm totally fine.
And also, do you think you will be able to take fashion studies or some basic fashion subjects?
Yes, fashion studies is the subject concept which we've been taught. So I'm totally fine. I've been into that system for past 10 years. That is what is my core.
Content includes what is fashion, fashion cycle, and such things also.
Yeah, so fashion, and then it would.
Yeah, obviously because
Yeah,
she
it is.
was into Levi's, heading the Levi's, so
that
you
is
would
why-
understand fashion, what is fashion forecasting and all
Correct,
that.
trends.
Forecasting,
We study trends, we study what is
Yeah,
fashion which is going in
fashion,
Western countries, or say Indian, how do we change, how do we maybe get that change and get it into the product which we'll develop, and then how the brands actually think. Whatever.
And you're putting up in
Sarita
Vihar.
Vihar.
Yeah, so is it fun?
No, not much. So if you cross Kalindi Kunj, you enter Sarita Vihar. The moment you enter Delhi, it's Sarita Vihar.
No. So can we start?
Yes. Okay, so here we are talking about the concept of
Yeah.
multi-channel retailing. It's not been a very new thing. It's been existing for a long time. But for India per se, the market right now, which is tremendously changing, there's a lot of technology which has come up. There are almost all phones today which are supporting the apps, different kind of apps, and that is why multi-channel retailing has become a big thing in India now. If we go back to the market scenario, which has been earlier, this is how we started. Maybe the Kirana stores were the beginning, the brick and mortar stores, which were based in colonies, smaller areas of the neighborhood stores, and that is where we used to actually go. People knew the owner of the store, and they would just they had a very good trust factor. There was a big rapport, and people could just go to the store, buy something, or even go back sometime in the night or early morning and go back from the back room and buy something from there. And then there was a little organized sector which came up, and that is how we had a little, say, a store in a mall where under one roof there would be FMCG, there would be clothing, there would be different kind of materials or product line which would be offered. There was a time when there were no malls in India, and 2099 and 2000 actually saw a big revolution in malls. And there were people who kept thinking that the Kirana stores would die. Truly speaking, no, it will never die, because India has a huge population, and we have to cater each and every kind of consumer which is there present in the market. And there's an example of a guest store which is in a mall. These branded stores are even present today in a high street market. Catalog, which is the example shown here, is IKEA. IKEA, a UK brand, has actually Swedish brand, has been in the market for a long time in catalog. And then they had stores which are offline stores, and online they're available. But in India, as far as my memory goes, I think Otto Burlington was the only magazine which really did well. Although in abroad it is a huge thing, IKEA does it. There's Harrods which is playing into it. There's brands called Saws which are doing really good. So catalog in India a little slow, because I think people still want to do touch and feel, and they want to try the product, and they do not really trust it, but it exists in the market today. Then we had desktops, we had computers, and I think technology totally changed it, the consumer demand changed it, and laptops came in, and we could, I think, just go on YouTube or Google and different portals. A lot of Snapdeals, Flipkart, social sites came up, and we could easily shop from the laptops. And now it's mobile. The time has come where I think 99.99% population is on the mobile. We don't need friends, we don't need social circle, we just need a phone. We sit and we can just shop anytime. So in today's scenario, this is where I want to show that the customer is the center point, and since the customer demand has changed, he's switching on to different modes of shopping or retailing, we can say so. So in today's scenario where we're saying space is a constraint, there was a time when malls used to open with about a 10,000 square feet space or a 20,000 square feet of space. Ansar Plaza was, I think, one of the smallest mall in
But
today's.
initial was the first one.
Yes, it was the first one, and it became a big thing, of course. And then when we saw a bigger mall in Gurgaon, like a DT center, we were like, wow. And then Ambi Mall Gurgaon came, which was like triple the size of it. So today's scenario, yes, population is obviously growing. It cannot degrow. So space is becoming a constraint. Time is very less because distances are obviously growing, and automatically we have a work culture where we're doing a 10 to 8 job instead of a 9 to 5. So time is obviously becoming less. Rentals are skyrocketing. If you get a store in a mall or you get a store even on a high street, the rentals are very, very steep. Nuclear families. We've come from smaller cities, and we've seen that in a joint family, there are more people in the group, so automatically the entertainment level is a little higher. But in a nuclear family, there are like 3 to 4 members only. So what do? How do we actually interact? Because if the parents are at office and then you have Saturdays, Sundays, even the children become bored. So you need a little more of interaction. And for that, you want different ways of entertainment, and that is where multi-channel comes in place. Social engagement I've already talked, and time I've already talked about. So consumer shopping behavior in overall level has changed, and that is where omni-channel strategy comes into play. The marketing actually thinks of, let's get different ways of selling and make it into a strategy where omni-channel strategy can be placed. And that is where retailers want to use more than one way to serve a product or a service to the customer. Ultimate objective is to enhance the customer's shopping experience. That the experience which he or she is actually going through should be the best. I hope I'm not very fast.
No.
Thank you. So, what is the definition actually? Why the strategy of multi-channel has come into place in today's era of retail? We've discussed that there are stores, there are offline stores which came, and why do we want to actually get into online? Today, if you actually see name any brand, and it is there on internet, you can shop through it. It's there on. If it is not on, if it is in store, it is on internet. Where there are ads through which is like TV or web, they are promoting their brand. So it's done it in a all-round manner. Even there are times when we see pamphlets or a print media which is coming like a newspaper ads that there's a flat 40 running in a XYZ brand, or there are offers, buy to get one free, and this is what is advertising, or maybe a strategy of marketers where they want that the omni-channel strategy should be in position.
Megha,
Yes.
can we run through fast?
Faster?
No, I will just run through the slides because we have understood that you have the capability to express,
All right.
to explain. As a student, we are able to grasp. So we have understood.
I can give a lot of examples. I can just go on.
Yeah, we
I'm
understand
really
that.
sorry.
So you can just go through the
Okay.
PPT once.
So then I just covered the store and why a store is preferred, why the touch and feel and the fit trials are like advantages for a consumer who's walking in the store. Then there's mobile commerce there's mobile commerce and internet, why the advantages are there. You can shop anytime from anywhere, 365 days, there's not a constraint, and you get better deals from the internet. Why catalog? I talked about Argo, that it's a big UK brand in England, and it does about 10 to 20,000 SKUs
UK
in a
brand in
magazine.
England.
Sorry, UK, it's a UK brand. Yeah, England and UK is the same, I know,
Yeah.
but it is based in UK. It's a UK brand.
Yeah, it's a UK brand.
Yeah,
That's it.
and it does it's a huge thing because about 20,000 SKUs are printed in the catalog and they sell it.
No, but India is also picking up with that.
Yes, now it is picking up. E-catalog is a big thing now. So e-catalog again, it's a visual
IKEA,
presentation.
I think Pepperfry is almost on the lines of
Correct.
IKEA, but they are not cataloging, but they are online. But if given, because I think the setup of India and UK
Okay,
is
Is very different.
very different.
Yes, correct. I think we as Indians, we want that touch and feel, and we want to move around and take the experience of people, the customer, the staff actually to come to you and ma'am, how are you? To greet. We like that
Yeah, because we
interaction.
are very traditional.
Traditional,
I mean,
yes.
how far we go, but it will take us ages to be like
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
Britishers are.
Yes, I think they're more. They like the solitude. They don't want much
Yeah,
of
that is
hassle
a
where you
good
come in.
idea.
They're more of browsers. They don't want interference. They know what to buy. We need help.
Yeah, we
It is
need
looking
no,
nice,
it's not
okay.
help, it's how you look at it. Because we come from big family setup.
Correct.
So we have been asking everybody, would
Advice.
we like it?
Yeah,
or
we
it
like
is
that.
advice rather
Advice,
than
yes.
help.
So that
And,
is communicated there.
yeah.
Correct.
Since
And to
childhood.
quote you, Pepper Fries again coming with offline stores. It's the first brand, online brand,
They're doing
which is coming up with the offline store now.
Khatarnak beach.
Pepper is great.
And then I want to talk about MLM, which is the multi-level marketing. That this is I think Amway and Oriflame are like two big examples in India, which are still existing and doing very well.
What is
Yeah.
MLM?
Multi-level marketing. So it's like a chain that I'm selling something. I
Direct
make
selling.
you I directly sell you the products, and
Alright.
you make a chain and you maybe
There's no
convince her.
store.
There's no store. So today, Oriflame and Amway Tupperware you will still get in different in say lifestyle home center.
No,
you
but
might
they
just
started
get.
with direct
But
selling.
They started with direct selling. Oriflame you will still not get it anywhere. Amway you might get into the licensed registered chemist shops, but otherwise you will not get in a normal
So
kirana
these
store.
Oriflame and these brands are like multi-level marketing.
Multi-level marketing, they're like word of mouth. They don't have store, they don't do
You have to
anything.
first
Yes.
prove yourself to spread the business.
Correct. And you'll get money for it. You get paid for it to make a chain, and then any product you sell, you have a
Small
margin.
groups have started doing this on WhatsApp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Tupperware is not doing well now because of this cancer, plastic, and all those things.
Yeah,
So-
you have to be a lot of proof. There's a TBA proof you have to have, and then
Yeah,
you have
there's
to
a
have
lot of
plastic
cans that
freezing.
you-
You can't heat it in it. So there are a lot of people coming back to it. Should not. They're moving to steel again.
Steel and glass, yes.
So then I'm
Just
coming-
run through, just
Okay.
run through.
Key
Let's not
drivers.
talk.
Why the two key drivers are customer demand and obviously cost saving is the second point. Benefits in both ways to the consumer and to the organization. How revenue increases with since there's a deeper penetration in the market and you're not selling it from one point, the point of sales are increasing, so automatically the revenue increases. And for customer, there's a better and wider interaction. Of course, the consumer base increases. So in a store, there are limited customer who's actually walking in the store, but here when you're selling it from different channels, the consumer base increases.
What is, is it an incomplete
Actually,
sentence?
no. Actually, this with has had to be there. It's just changed a bit. My PPT was saved on a Google Drive. So once I changed it to PowerPoint, I think it's just the alignment has
because
changed. It says
Interaction with a
With a
greater
greater
variety of
variety.
information.
It had to be better and wider customer interaction with a greater variety of information. And business intelligence comes in play where identification of
Oh,
opportunities
I
are
see.
coming. So it just shifted a bit. The alignment is
Okay, let's stop now.
Yes.
I wanted to understand, would you be able to take entrepreneurship?
Entrepreneurship,
Let-
okay, fine. So, in large terms like franchising
No, no,
or
no.
working, taking
How
your own
to-
business,
How to have your
own business. Fine, that's fine. That's true.
And advertising subjects?
Advertising, so related to marketing, I'm fine with it.
Advertising and
Yeah,
marketing.
marketing is okay. Yes.
Okay, so for a regular, what are your expectations in terms of salary? And we are working 6 days a week,
Okay, so what would be the timings?
from 9:30 till 5:30.
Can you give me some time? Because I have not thought on the salary.
Okay.
So if you can suggest me that this is what you've been as a
See,
industry.
if I look at the the academic background that you have in terms of teaching, so how many years it is?
2 years,
2 years, so it is not.
not up to the mark. Yes.
So for us, you are almost like a beginner. So,
Okay.
yeah. Though, industry, yes, you have a lot of experience, but we would want you to come back on this.
Alright.
We are working 6 days a week, and if it is a full time, what is your expectation? And if it is a part time, then what would be your expectation in terms of 1.5 hour session?
Session. All right.
Yeah.
Great.
So do let us know on the same number, or we'll Avarika can give you. No, that is because
My number is also with her.
I have just called you in the morning because I
Actually,
wanted to
you
know the
did.
address. So
Ah,
that is